This mutation is called Battle Hardened and it is played on Chain of Ascension. We have 3 mutators active. We have Hardened Will, we have Inspiration, and we have Missile Command. So we have Han and Horner, and we have Nova that will be doing this mutation. So let's take a look at the masteries. So Han and Horner have picked 3 points into the Stronger Death Chance Mastery, which is somewhat interesting because this mastery does not do anything at the moment. We also have 30 points into the Delva Salvage Chance Mastery and 30 points into the Magmine Mastery, and Han Horner picking the Chaotic Power Couple Prestige. Nova, level 1000 Ascension Commander, 30 points into the Airstrike Cost Reduction, 30 points into the Primary Ability Improvement, and then we have a 15-15 split into the Nova Energy Regeneration and Unit HP Regeneration Mastery, with Nova actually picking the Tactical Dispatcher Prestige, which is very, very interesting, but I would not expect anything less. We do have a lot of people that enjoy memeing on the weekly mutations, and I actually like to cast these games because it's a little bit better than watching Zeratul just curb stomp every single mutation in the game. So overall, nothing really particularly interesting happening, so let's talk about the mutators a little bit. The Missile Command Mutator will give out the Hardened Will buff. I think this is the one that... the Hardened Will buff will basically be given by the missiles from the Missile Command Mutator as well, so Amon's units will randomly get this Hardened Will buff, which makes them a little bit more annoying to deal with, and if you're wondering why, it's because the missiles are flying over them, so that is something to pay attention to. And usually, I think the commanders that I recommended for this week, basically the goal for the commanders is you want to have units with a low attack damage but a high attack speed. And pretty much a perfect example of this is Raynor's Marines. So Raynor's Marines, they have a very high attack speed, but they don't actually have very high attack damage, because attack damage here that Amon's units receive is limited to 10. So as long as you're dealing less than 10 damage every single tick that your army units deal to Amon's forces, then the Hardened Will Mutator doesn't really make any difference to how the game plays out. And this is why usually a commander like Raynor, especially with Stim, can work really, really well. So generally you're looking for high attack speed and low attack damage. And the other thing as well that's really good is Carax's carriers. So Han Horner already drops one set of Magmines, and this is exactly why I enjoy playing this Prestige so much, as you can just drop a Magmine right at the start, and it's just going to end up deleting everything here. So very nice pick off here for the Magmines, and Nova just ends up deleting the ground units as well. Now she's going to go ahead and clear the expansion. And Han Horner putting down some more missile turrets here. One of the complicated issues with Missile Command, and this is the thing I'm just going to recommend in general to anyone that is going to be playing this mutation, is right now, the missiles aren't really problematic. You put down a few missile turrets like this and you're basically fine. But in the later stages of the game, you're going to start getting the splitter missiles. And the splitter missiles are very, very problematic because once you destroy them, they split into 2 different missiles. And those things usually deal damage to your structures. So eventually what's going to happen is your structures are just going to get whittled down over the course of the mission unless you have automatic healing, such as Swan or Carax's Repair Beam. So generally, when you're playing against this Missile Command Mutator, not even ignoring the fact that you will start to get nuked after the 16-minute mark or whenever the nukes actually spawn, but generally speaking, you want to try and clear this mission and generally every other mutation as quickly as possible. But when you have the Missile Command Mutator and other mutators like Propagators and Killbots and all that stuff, it is in your best interest to try and clear this mission as quickly as possible. And usually that'll also include foregoing the bonus objective. I know a lot of people want to try and do the bonus objectives, but generally speaking, you kind of want to avoid it, especially on this kind of mutation. So just a few tips for anyone that is a little bit newer to the game. Bonus objectives aren't really worth a lot of experience. It's always better to go and try and just close the mission out, get the victory, get the bonus, get the bounty, not the bonus, get the bounty for the weekly mutations, and life is good then. But we have Nova, we're being backed up with a few Galleons over here, so Nova's going to be chilling and being pushed back by Amon's champion. And This, I think they might be ready to trigger the first hybrid super pressure spawn. And if they time this right, what they might be able to do is spawn the hybrid wave with this attack wave. So there we go. So now, if they actually get within range, they might be able to wipe out the escort as well as the, yeah, there we go. So it's going to start, they're going to use a call down over here, and I think they might even use a space station reallocation, which they end up doing. And like you see here, what they've done is they've just maximized the value of that call down. Is they've taken out the attack wave and they have taken out the hybrid super pressure spawn. And one thing to note as well, and that is not any attack wave. That is the big scary second attack wave of this mission. So usually this size of attack wave you'd be expecting to see at around the 12 to 15 minute mark, but you see this, a whole 4 minutes earlier, and 4 minutes in StarCraft is a lot of time. So they got good luck. They got good RNG on the fact that this attack wave, the first attack wave spawned up from the northern side of the map, and which means the second attack wave spawns from the southern side. But also good timing on the calldowns to utilize that space station reallocation as effectively as possible. I don't know whether calling the fleet was necessary over there. Maybe Nova could have blinked in and just provided vision for Han Horner, but better safe than sorry, and you might as well use your calldowns if you have them available. So they're going to start pushing Janara forward now a little bit, and that will trigger the second spawn, which is okay, but unfortunately there are no calldowns available right now for these two commanders. So I think Nova will probably have to blink in and use a Griffin airstrike here. Now remember that Nova is using the tactical dispatcher prestige, which means that it doesn't really have access to the Griffin airstrikes as frequently as possible, and unfortunately Nova just gets completely destroyed by the little photon cannons in the front of this base, and this is going to be somewhat problematic. Nova has been respawned, and we have some more Widow Mines over here. And actually, on the subject of Widow Mines, one other thing as well that is a really good habit is to try and spawn camp these spawn points and in the early stages of the game before they actually start to spawn over here. So Nova has blinked in over here. Unfortunately, there have been some. That was actually very interesting use there. Okay, let me explain what just happened. If you're wondering what happened there. So, the Widow Mines borrowed. Nova, a very clever idea, used the Griffin, the tactical airlift to airlift the Widow Mines and drop them right into the middle of the enemy forces in the hopes that the Widow Mine would actually trigger and kill off the hybrids and all that stuff there. Unfortunately, what happened is because they are dealing with the Siege of Storms enemy composition, you have oracles, and if the oracles are idle, the AI will start to put down stasis wards. So Nova tactical airlifted the Widow Mines, dropped them right into the middle of the enemy forces, and the Widow Mines actually got stasis. So 500 IQ play countered by a 5000 IQ aim on. So there you go. That's what happened over there. So Nova now is just going to finish off this last hybrid. And you can see here this Hardened Will being a little bit annoying, but that is that taken care of. So now we have Han Horner building some more Widow Mines again over here. And I think this is going to be the name of the game. They're going to be going mass Widow Mines, and Nova is going to tactical airlift them into the middle of the enemy forces. Now, if you are a non-meme player, and you want to play like a normal human being, then usually what you will do is you will actually clear these enemy bases first, and then park your Widow Mines and Mag Mines on the spawn points, and then when the hybrids spawn, they instantly get deleted by the mines. But do remember, again, like Hardened Will is a thing here, which means that the heroic units and the hybrids will probably not end up dying to these Widow Mines as you would normally expect them to in a regular game. So, that is something to take into consideration. The other thing I do want to say is I am happy to see someone playing Han Horner, because they're a pretty bad commander for mutations in general. If you do watch my weekly mutation shorts, very few times I will actually recommend Han Horner for a mutation, and that is usually on Dead of Night. That is almost always the only time I will recommend Han Horner, because they're great for that map. Sometimes for part and parcel, but most of the time they're not particularly great. They're not a particularly great commander. So seeing some people finding some kind of utility for these commanders is kind of fun to see. So we have another attack wave over here. Is the Griffin airstrike ready? Probably not available, but actually this is available here, but not being utilized here, interestingly enough. And now there's some more air units over here. Nova is not going to... Okay, there we go. There's the airstrike that I was looking for. And there you go. And this is actually exactly the reason why a lot of people believe that the B2 Nova Prestige isn't particularly great. This Griffin Airstrike is a fantastic ability. It's amazing for dealing with attack waves. It's amazing for pushing into enemy bases. It's amazing for a lot of stuff. It's great for dealing with like the main objective on the mission, like say Oblivion Express. There are lots of utilities for that ability. And just losing out on the ability for a little bit of mobility isn't particularly great. But this is putting the P2 Nova to good use, and I think this may be the first weekly. Actually, now that I think about it, this might be the first weekly mutation game that I have casted that uses the tactical airlift ability like this and uses the P2 Nova Prestige. It is very, very surprising, but nice to see. So we need to start pushing in a little bit more. Janara is being pushed in. Nova just harassing some of Amon's forces with a little bit of sabotage drones. Over here, with the mines are going to borrow, they will end up taking out all these phoenixes over here. And now we start getting the nuke spawning on the map. So the first nuclear missile has spawned on the map. And this does look like it is going towards Nova's expansion? Maybe going towards the expansion or towards the base. It's kind of difficult to tell. But Nova should be able to snipe this out very, very easily. She's just taking out these phoenixes one after the other, and take a look at this accompaniment of the point defense missiles here. These are point defense missiles. I don't think I can click them. They're unclickable at the moment, but those things are the things that will wreck you if you are using non-hit scan units, which are basically projectile units. So regular missile turrets will not be able to stop the point defense missiles, so you have a lot of them. So bear that in mind. So first nuclear missile has gone down. We have some siege tanks over here. They're just dropping some random. We have some random spire mines here, and over here, unfortunately, the mag mines have actually not triggered, and the airstrike is also a little bit of a whiff. And now we have the space station reallocation getting used here. You do not want those enemy forces into the middle of the base, but that is the space station reallocation gone now. Unfortunately, it does mean that the space station reallocation is not going to be available for when they start to push into the next hybrid spawn here. So this is going to be a little bit tricky. Phoenixes taking an interest in the siege tanks, but Nova does snipe them out, and it's just going to take out the rest of these attempts. Hybrids have started to spawn. Widow mines have been lifted and are ready to go, and I think Nova is going to get ready to airlift them into the middle of the enemy base. She's getting vision over here, and I think the same thing is going to happen again. So getting vision, and there we go, and all the Widow mines do get stasis again. This is actually, I feel so bad. This would have been such a 500 IQ play, and now the Widow mines actually they do end up triggering here. Okay, that did kind of work. Unfortunately, all the stasis wards did go down, but like, did actually stun all those Widow mines. But it was actually not too bad. There's one random hybrid here, but that hybrid will get sniped. And is there another one left over? There's actually another one left over here. So Nova's gonna aggro this, and she will take out the hybrid. And yeah, so some more Widow mines now on the way. Take your guesses as to how many Widow mines have been lost throughout the course of this mission. So Hanoi is just dropping some more mag mines as well to just try and help Nova. And now Nova goes back to shotgun mode and back to snipe mode and ends up killing off this hybrid. But yeah, this will be a recurring problem, like if you're trying to spawn camp on this map. So it's actually good utility there. Actually very interesting use here of the Widow mines to just take out the nuclear missile. So really well played there. Nuclear missile goes down, and now these Widow mines. So remember the recharge. The recharge doesn't really take a lot of time, so you're not really losing out much, especially in the course of actually pushing. These are the missiles I was talking about. They deal damage, and they're like kind of annoying, but and you can see now the frequency of the missiles are also starting to increase. So the mission can get very, very messy. Overall, the base, though, doing reasonably well. We have some SCVs that are just on patrol duty. And one other thing to also note here is how Hanhorner has actually given their gases to Nova, because they do not need... Oh, that one might be... Okay, there's going to be a Griffin airstrike over here to take this out. Nova knew for certain that she was about to get nuked there. She better safe than sorry, and just ends up, like, tactical Griffin airstriking that one nuclear missile. So I don't know if that is hashtag value, but again, we're having a little bit of base harass here right now. So Nova sending in. Oh, she's gonna drop a nuke over here. She wants... Amon tried to nuke her, and now she's counter nuking Amon. And that was actually a really good nuke. Does take out a good chunk of the units here. There is still some more detection. Remember, there will be observers as well on the map. I'm pretty sure there's like an observer hanging around Nova somewhere. So Nova will try to take that out. Actually, no, Nova has detection. What am I saying? No, Nova has detection. There are no observers here. It's that Futon cannon that was providing vision and detection to Nova. So Nova's going to take this out. The assault galley is now slowly pushing through as well. Siege tanks being dropped in the most inhumane fashion just to drop their spire mines. Don't do this at home. These guys are trained professionals. They know the art. They have studied for several years the art of memeing on Amon. So they're just going completely inhumane on the siege tanks just to drop their spire mines. Imagine building siege tanks for single-use spire mines. Okay, so we have another nuclear missile coming up over here, and Noah now wants to push Amon's champion forward, but they want to try and deal with this thing first. So are there going to be Goliaths over here? Yeah, they're going to be Goliaths over here, but you see the issue that the Goliaths are having. They cannot actually hit the nuclear missile. They finally actually end up hitting this. These Goliaths now are going to be parked over here and ready to go. There's an attack wave coming up on the northern side of the map as well, and there's another attack wave coming up on the southern side of the map. This is a double-pronged attack wave, and these commanders will have to try and push. The hybrid super push spawn has been created, and they will start pushing Amon's champion forward. These things are going to start taking out. They're going to start attacking a little bit over here. And is there going to be a tactical airlift? There is not going to be a tactical airlift just yet. And these widow mines now are ready. They have been picked up. They're going to get dropped right into the middle here. Surprisingly, no stasis. There is surprisingly no stasis wards over here to stun these poor widow mines again that have been just instantly dropped into the middle of Amon's forces. The widow mines are actually not borrowing as well. Space station reallocation getting used, but Nova is busy trying to defend this double-pronged attack wave. And this attack wave has been dealt with pretty well, but the hybrids are still standing, and Janara is being pushed back, and now she's going to start yelling at the commanders as to why they are being lazy, worthless, wastes of time. So it's going to be a call and the fleet being used. Fleet has been called, and now the fleet will start dealing some damage. Single-use siege tanks being dropped here as well to try and deal with some of the ground forces, and the single-use siege tanks now have been utilized and their timer has expired. And now we have some more widow mines that are being borrowed over here to try and deal with these hybrids. But these hybrids do... This hybrid at the top has the Hardened Will buff because there are a bunch of units on the back there. But that one hybrid over here does not have the Hardened Will buff. So this one is going to end up going down. These ones will also end up getting cleared out now because they moved away. I think there's some more units on the back line here that need to be dealt with as well. They're only hybrid... Okay, there was a Tempest over there. So these widow mines now are not going to be able to make a dent on these hybrids. Even these mag mines now, you can see here, not really doing anything. They have to try and take out that one Tempest, which I think Nova has done. Very nice airstrike over here. Takes out 2 hybrid destroyers. Janara more than halfway through the map. And unfortunately, an attack wave has spawned right here. And this is, again, one of the reasons why I said you should try and clear this mission as quickly as possible, because the attack waves become more and more frequent. They become more and more nasty. And again, these hybrid just tanking everything like a boss. It has a Hardened Will buff here. It's preventing it from taking a lot of damage. So again, eventually that buff is going to go down and the hybrid is going to evaporate. There is... Now, Janara is also ready now to be pushed forward, and there is a nuclear missile over here. These Goliaths will try and eventually deal with these point defense missiles, and there we go. They do end up taking out that nuclear missile, but Janara almost getting pushed back all the way to the back of the map. So, one other thing to also note is that the missiles will push Janara backwards. So, Janara just gets whittled down as missiles go over. So, that is something else to take into consideration. It is really, really annoying when you're playing this mission with Missile Command Mutator, but that is how Mutator works. So you see what happened over there? See how Nova took that damage? I was trying to get that on camera. I finally got that. So she sniped that missile, and that missile dealt damage to her, and that missile basically will deal damage to anything around it. So Janara is now ready to be pushed back into the pit. Over here, there's another attack wave, but this attack wave should be dealt with reasonably quickly and effectively. So I think all should be ready to go now. Just requires the SCVs to move Janara forward, and all will be good. And we have another airstrike dedicated for that one nuclear missile. Yeah, their goal now is to just try and close this mission out as quickly as possible. Like, there might be another attack wave that'll spawn, but as long as Janara is being pushed forward, I think should not be too bad. The siege tanks are also parked over here as well. Those single-use siege tanks are actually gone way past their time. Okay, there's a nuke over here. Nova's done. She's like, I am completely done with these attack waves. There we go. So that is the last of the attack waves, and Janara now will be ready to push Amon's champions a bit. And Janara has been saved, and that is GG.